watching. Please like and subscribe to help us spread TIPA's positive approach message around the world.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome back to Live at 5 on Friday. TGIF. Woohoo! So, guys on Facebook, guys and gals, we really appreciate all the questions you've been sending in, and they really are helping us choose what topics to cover on these How to Live at 5s. And something we've gotten a couple questions on are how to support people living with dementia who are having hallucinations. So first, I just wanted team to talk about what is a hallucination and what is different between a hallucination and a delusion. We're going to focus on hallucinations today, but I think it's important to understand there is a difference, and we can come back to delusions another day because that's another, can be tough.
Yeah. I think, so my head always goes to, I'm always like, go to little phrases in my head where I can kind of differentiate, even if they aren't the full definition. And I always go to this idea of senses versus beliefs.
Okay.
Now, it's not fully accurate, but this idea that hallucinations tend to be things having to do with sensations, our senses, versus delusions have to do with beliefs. Now, it's not to say that they aren't overlapping or that's an absolute definition, but it's a place to kind of go by to figure out when I'm trying to help somebody. I've got to know where they're coming from first. And that's been kind of my go-to for years.
Right. So, how I heard it, Beth, is delusions are things you think and hallucinations are things you experience.
Yeah. And while that's not like the psychiatric definition, I think it's a really good place to start in terms of friends who I know who have schizophrenia, friends who I know have dementia, and how they described, and then how they've manifested for them.
Right.
So you're noticing what you sense versus what you believe or what you think. So what are those senses that we know are sometimes affected with hallucinations? Let's go through those senses.
Yeah.
So
I would go vision.
Definitely visual. So seeing things, and often with people living with dementia, especially Lewy body, it's like children or animals for some reason, or small people.
Right.
Often visual. Then there's the
auditory,
hearing somebody, or the little thing up on the ceiling is telling me that it's hungry.
And then touch, right?
Touch, yeah. Oh, there's bugs on me. Why are these bugs all over me? And oh God, now I see the bugs are on my food. And then there's
some smell.
They actually can have big time smell hallucinations, and tastes aren't right. You're trying to poison me. This doesn't taste right.
Yeah, and the vision ones, especially, I've heard people describe, depending on in the progression of dementia where someone is, and for actually a lot of the dementias associated with movement disorders, I've heard people talk about it's very similar at first to at least the visual ones. Like, when you have like a really big but soft, sleepy seed in your eye and it's kind of floating across your eye, floaters. And that idea that you look to it and it goes away. And it's that sort of nebulous idea. I think it's there, but it's not. And then it can get progressively worse. So that if that bothers you and you don't have dementia, can you imagine if it then progressed more? And the same sort of way with all the other senses. And I think that's a great place to go by earlier in the disease. It may be that they're vague, or that maybe that I really go to this place of expecting, oh, it's footsteps. And then later on, it is absolutely someone walking through my house auditory. So they go from this vague and distracting to really downright disturbing and engaging.
Yeah. Right. So that's one of the questions that we've gotten, and I wanted to look at something today about, oh my gosh, what if it's scary, or but it's not real. I know it's not real, but it's scary to them. What do I do? So I have a video of Tipa, who actually has someone trying PPA skills, interacting with Tipa, who's having a hallucination. So I want us to watch for what skills does this lady try that we've seen before, and is there anything different than what we've seen before? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
Come here. I need you to get,
Hi.
Hey, listen.
How are you?
Well, I'm not good. That
Okay.
little boy, I'm worried about
Little
him.
boy, you're worried about?
Yeah, you see him, he's up under there. You see how he's gotten up under there, and I'm afraid he's gonna get hurt.
Hey, Kathy, can you pause
Get him
right
out of
here?
there. You want me to get him out?
You want me to get him out of there?
Yeah,
Can you pause
somebody.
it?
Yeah.
Okay. Because already there's a ton of awesome stuff that she's done. And I wonder if we could pause and figure out, because that's that first thing of knowing what to do is part of it. And I love what she did.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah, because she did a great
Yeah.
connect. She got into hand under hand and got into supportive stance right away.
oh my gosh. Yeah.
So
And
it's like
really,
amazing.
yeah. And with that, she did it. I love that, Shelley, where she did her full positive physical approach, that getting truly connected and reflecting, gosh, the unmet need here is
Reflecting back, yeah.
maybe fear of some sort. And reflecting that, oh gosh.
Yeah,
And
she
with a
used her
question
words.
mark.
She used her words back.
Yeah. Oh my
And
gosh.
what I also like that she's doing is she's actually getting and looking with Tipa.
Mm-hmm.
She's actually participating in what Tipa is doing. And that's sort of so let's see what happens.
Needs to get him out.
Somebody needs to get him out?
Somebody does need it.
Somebody does need to get him out.
And that's where it starts to get hard. It's like you got the initial connect. I can do my PPA. I can do a one reflect. And then where do I go from here?
So what was the difference when she added that does? Somebody does need to get them out of here. What is that doing for somebody in distress who's seeing something they absolutely believe they see?
That's bringing that person down to say, okay, somebody's going to take care of it. I don't have to be so worried about it anymore.
Yeah. So it's not my job anymore to make sure that little boy doesn't get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's also this place of honesty and truth that we talk about. So we talk about, no white lies, no trying to trick me or give me baloney. It's truly, if there was actually a small child there under the table that no one knew whose he was, or no one was watching out for him, would someone truly need to? Someone does need to take care of that child. Is that the absolute truth?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a place of truth.
So what do we think often happens?
Oh, there's nobody there. There's nobody
No,
there.
sweetheart, there's nobody there.
Nobody
It's going to
there.
be okay.
It'll be fine.
And then what's going to happen?
Oof, you are not helping me.
No. And so what's going to happen to distress?
Oh,
Hers is going to go up.
So is it going to be just like this, that it's going to go, oh, okay, somebody's going to take care of it? No, we may have to, but let me ask you this. Was there anything different? Were there any skills that were different than the ones we've talked about over and over again? Or were these some of our basic skills of PPA, positive physical approach, validation?
yeah, it's a really good point. It really was the basics. And I think the reason why, I wonder if for some people, the reason why it's harder is I really have to, I have to fight this desire to reassure this person that they really are okay. And that is just not going to work. I have to let that go and continue on with the pack skills for so much longer than most situations.
Right.
my
Yeah.
fear is
And what's
go
another
away.
thing you might want to do? What do we know helps someone sometimes, if we kept going with this, let's say. So Beth, I would say, so somebody's going to take care of this.
Yes, somebody's got to take care of this. This is, yes, let's tell you what, let's go. We will get somebody to take care of this. Let's go.
And then where would we go?
We've got to go somewhere else where my guess is there's something going on in that environment, maybe, or I've got to be curious to figure out what works.
Right.
Yeah, but the first thing is, the first next step might be go somewhere else
Yeah.
and hope the little boy doesn't come with you.
Right. And just by going somewhere else, you've changed my focus to somewhere else. And I already know they're going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
So now you can get me to move on to something else.
Yeah. That idea of trying to get somebody to take care of it, that's the piece, especially if you're alone, that makes it extra hard. How far do you go into this idea of, is it looking for, sending somebody else in there? Do you have a partner? That's the hard part, where we start to slip down this line of lying.
Yeah, but trying, all we want to try, like, let's just say somebody says, what do I do? How do I just start with the basics? Get connected using PPA, hand under hand. You can even add that little, let's remind you, that little pump of the hand can be comforting. Meet them where they are.
Right.
Validate what is their reality.
Right.
And then take the onus of ownership off of them.
Right.
And move somewhere else.
Right.
I mean, that's a place to start.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think sometimes why it's hard for us is because of the level of their stress or the level of their agitation, and knowing that saying it's okay or it's calm, and not trying to meet them with the same level of emotion.
Is meeting somebody where they are emotionally and visually, what they're paying attention to, where they are.
That's what I said.
Their words.
A good job of that in the video, but that's what I said. I think a lot of times people get worried. They can't handle the level, and they don't know what to. Letting go of the fact that it doesn't matter what you look like as the care partner, just go with them, is sometimes, I think, the challenge for this kind of thing.
So maybe we're looking at, let's just say you've got these basic skills of getting connected, but maybe it really is going to be, for folks out there, the one skill that's going to be really hard is to meet them where they are. Like, oh my gosh, that boy is in trouble. Oh no, that is not okay. Ooh, that is scary. Oh boy, yeah, we need to get some help in here. Yep. And what else might you want to do if you've got that hand under hand?
Yeah, you're right, Catherine. And we constantly, and I think what's even harder too is like, I realized, I was trying to figure out when Shelly's saying why it's hard. Another why for me is when I see there's, like, in this hallucination ones, there's so many, it gets like constant surprises in the conversation. I've had a friend say, do you see the bugs? And I'm like, oh crap, what's the way that I gotta be honest. And, and I was like, I gotta go for it. I don't see the bugs, but it sounds like these are bugs you've got. Is that right? And, with that much language, I could honestly say, no, I truly didn't, but it doesn't mean that isn't your reality. And I will not negate that.
Right.
That honesty, it's hard because it's like, we're constantly getting surprises when someone, then adding that what Shelly said, that level of distress, and I've got to meet them, but I'm still actually dealing with my own distress.
Right.
Yeah, so your distress is up with theirs. And you know what? Yeah. Just for a tidbit, or a little, like a final tip, something you can try. Let's say someone, and I think we're talking about a similar friend we have, Beth, who does have bugs on the walls or on her food. And we've learned to say, especially let's say they're on her, you know what I've got, Beth? I have a cream that neutralizes the bugs just for a little while.
It does?
I'm wondering if you'd be willing to just try it with me.
I'll
put it on too. I'll put it on too and make sure so I don't get the bugs. Because I know you told me you don't want me to get the bugs, so you don't have to worry. This neutralizes bugs.
Okay.
Here, give it a try. And guess what it actually is?
It's that little bit of menthol or a little bit of
bacitracin or something. If she really is having the sensation of itching, you can do that. And it worked for her. Not saying that works for everybody, but that's a one little try. So you've gotten a couple things today. You want to try that, your basic steps of PPA. Give it a try to meet them, even though you might not be comfortable with it. And you gently rock them down, change locations, neutralize. Just a couple things to try. Hope you all liked it.
I have to leave this. You just reminded me so beautifully of after so many skilled people can surround and support someone. I will never forget a moment with our friend when we were in a hallway and there was a cat at the doorway, and the cat was literally side to us looking like this and running. The cat's eyes were just literally following up the door jamb, and absolutely in jest, our friend said to two of us, see, the cat sees the little people, you guys don't. And she was totally joking. And I was like, these are the stupid little joys in dementia. And I realized if she's able to joke about it, as fear filling as these sorts of things are, I thought, there really is hope. And I just, I don't know if that gives someone a grin if they're in the middle of this sort of challenge. What a great one to bring up, Catherine. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, people brought it up. Our folks
I
brought
love
it
it.
up. So,
Yeah.
and Shelly's going to drop something in the chat. I think she probably already did. She's super skilled. There's a whole chapter on hallucinations in challenging behaviors. It's a DVD. You can get a DVD or streaming. Anyhow, thanks for joining us, friends, and we'll see you next week on Live at 5. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to help us spread TIPA's positive approach message around the world. And don't forget to click the bell to get notified when new videos are posted.